All my life I had been praying and asking for something or the other from God. I was a vulnerable person and I prayed for strength. God gave me difficult situations to fight. Then I felt I was naive and I asked for wisdom. God gave me more problems to solve. I decided why not directly ask for prosperity. I was made to realize I already had the strength and the wisdom and I must put them to use. This made me restless and I prayed for patience. God made me wait longer. While I just waited, I felt I was missing love and I asked for it. And God gave me troubled people to help. So I helped and I felt I deserved favors now. And I asked for favors. God gave me opportunities. So you see, I keep on asking for everything every now and then, but God gives me nothing that I ask for in life. He just gives me life and shows me ways to find everything.
A paradise is a place that exists only in our imaginations. We have our own standards of perfection, we have our own imaginations of perfection, and we put all the elements together and create our own paradise. Similarly, happiness and sorrow are also more like states of minds, however, they are inflicted by the circumstances which are around us. Happiness and sorrow would come and go as cycles in our lives, and we have little control over it, however, because mind can always play over matter. Our mind is the most precious gift that we have received from God. In this log of mind, we're going to talk about a very interesting question in numerology that is the most frequently asked question. Around 70% of the people have been asking me this, that whether having a name number which is not so compatible with the other core numbers that you have, or having a challenge name number or an incompatible name number, is it really that bad? And if we change our name numbers, if we really modify our names to something else, is it really going to change our destiny? Is it going to turn around our luck? Let us find out.
To begin with, these are the 5 primary numbers, and the first step towards knowing personal numerology is knowing the values for each of the primary numbers. On the screen, you can find the links that explain each of the numbers in details. You can also find the links which show the derivation of the life path number and the derivation of the name numbers. So unless you know these 5 primary numbers, you cannot understand the steps that would follow.
Inner World Revealed is a channel that deals with the most profound mysteries of our life. Every new log tries to unravel new mysteries and bring about new numerology secrets. If you would like to know more and more about your personal numerology numbers, you can subscribe to the channel and get to know more and more secrets with each upcoming log. For personalized readings, you can mail me your inquiries out there. That is chilipepperster@gmail.com. Now, I have been repeatedly saying in my logs that choose a compatible number to your life path number, choose a compatible number to your life path number. Whenever you get a chance, just go for a number which is compatible. Now, what happens if your own name number is a challenge to your life path number? Does it mean that you're just going to fail? There is no hope unless you change a name? Of course, I would say that yes, choosing a compatible number to your life path number, having a name number which is compatible to your life path number is a good aspect. But believing that nothing is going to work because your name number is a challenge to your life path number is actually not correct. And also believing that once you change your name, once you modify your name, the modified name is just going to undo the effect of your birth name completely, even that is not correct. Now, we have to actually understand the chemistry between the incompatible numbers or the challenge numbers to get to know more about the subject. So before we get into anything else, we have to know what actually are the compatible numbers, what actually are the best matches, and what are the incompatible numbers. Let us find out.
Okay, so this would be the list of the natural match numbers 157, 248, and 369. These are the three natural match categories. Natural match means these numbers would just naturally understand each other, naturally complement each other, and be the best possible match with each other. So if you have discovered yourself to be a life path 1 and you got a name 7 or a 5, you have a great natural match. Next comes our list of compatible numbers. These are the numbers that match fairly well, or I can say, if not the best, good enough. Now say amongst your 5 primary numbers, you find yourself to be a birthday 4 and a life path 6 and you have got name 8. I would say that's a good match because 4 is a natural match to 8 and 6 is a compatible number to 8. Now comes the list that most people would be scared to find their numbers in, and here it comes. Ta-da! Okay, so this is the list that we must fear. Really? Well, this is the list of toxic, challenge or incompatible numbers. However, some of the numbers that are marked in red are known to be neutral numbers. Neutral means the match can go good, bad, neutral, either ways. Now the question is, why actually are these numbers known to be challenging, incompatible or contradictory to each other? We must actually question, or else how do we really know if something is called a bad match? Why actually is it a bad match? Now let us consider the life path 3. A 3 life path is connected to creativity. 3 loves to make friends, talk, socialize and express itself freely. Now if the 3 life path has a name 7, and we know 7 is a toxic number to 3. You see the difference in the characteristics of 7 and 3. Unlike 3, 7 does not like to socialize much and is pretty aloof. You see, numerology is the art of seeing numbers basically as characters with strong and prominent characteristics of their own. And 3 and 7 are such opposite characters. With a 3 and a 7 together in the same blueprint, the person would really confuse the hell out of people.
And then this guy, he comes across as a very open person. He seems to be liking to share his plans, share all his secrets, and the very next moment you ask about something very personal and the guy is totally upset. And you don't even know what really went wrong. So the 3 and the 7 are pulling the person in 2 different directions, but there is also an advantage to it. Now say for example, the same person was a 3 and a 5. 3 and 5 are compatible numbers. They have similar energies. Both the numbers are very restless. They are both wanting to do a lot of things at the same time. So if the person had a 3 and a 5 together, the person would have been very dynamic and moving around all the times. But because there is a 7 out here, the person is doing what, he's concentrating on a subject, digging deeper into a subject and not scattering his energies. He's sitting back, relaxing and working. So that is an advantage of having 2 contradicting energies.
Mariah Carey is a birthday 9 and a life path 3. Her birth name Mariah Angela Carey is a challenge to both 9 and 3. However, if we consider her modified name Mariah Carey, we find it to be a name 3, and that really acts as a support or gives more power to her other 2 core numbers.
Okay, so I'm trying to catch the sunlight again. I guess this eye is visible now. So earlier in one of my logs, I have been discussing about the numerology missing numbers, and the missing numbers, or the numbers which are totally not there in our profile, indicate the qualities which we do not have at all. Because the numbers which we have, obviously we know by now that they indicate the qualities or our strong points, the qualities which put us in an advantageous position. So the missing numbers or the qualities that we lack put us in a disadvantageous position in comparison to others. Now, what happens when you have contradicting numbers is you have qualities of 2 different genres put together. So that can also be actually seen as a strength, because if you have the numbers of the same category, they are similar in a lot of ways. So you have similar energies put together. So in a way that is an advantage, because that avoids all confusion. And in a way that also is a disadvantage, because say suppose you have all creativity numbers, what you miss out on is you miss out on practicality. But if you have contradictory numbers, say you have a creativity number, then you have a practicality number. So you have energies from both the directions, and that actually is, or probably is, not all that bad as it sounds.
So once again, this is the list of the numbers which are toxic to each other. These numbers are toxic, but getting to see these numbers together in the same profile might not actually be so bad. We have to understand that all the numbers from 1 to 9 have unique characteristics. Each number is unique in its own way, and numerology is the art of seeing a number not as a number but as a character. 1 is known to be toxic to 2, 4, 6 and 8. However, when 1 and 8 appears in the same blueprint, it can mean great strength of character and terrific business sense. 1 and 4 appearing together again is something similar. 1 and 6 appearing together can make the person very magnetic. People would be just drawn towards him. But then 1 is very individualistic and 6 is a little domestic, so that might bring some kind of a conflict. 1 and 2 again is like having an 11 almost. 1 is strong and masculine, 2 is feminine. So sheer strength and feminine vulnerability all in the same person. Tact, diplomacy and aggression all in the same person. That's 1 and 2. 2 is toxic to 1, 5, 7 and 9. We already know the chemistry between 1 and 2. Let us find out about 2 and 5. 2 promotes togetherness, 5 promotes freedom. So the same person having both the qualities really needs to find a balance. Again, 2 promotes twosome togetherness, 7 wants to sit alone and think and do a lot of research all alone, and hence the contradiction. Again, about 2 and 9. 2 wants to be cozy with the partner, 9 is concerned about the whole wide world. But then 2 and 9 actually won't be very bad. It would be easier to handle than a 2 and a 5 and a 2 and a 7. The 3 and a 4 combo. This one can be a very difficult one. 3 represents absolute creativity, 4 represents absolute reality, hence a clash. But if you think of the brighter side of it, it might indicate a person who is very creative and is also very practical, logical and grounded. 3 and 8. Creativity doesn't go too well with materialism. Artists often tend to worry least about money. 3 and 8 is creativity and materialism put together. As it meets the eye, you might think it is really a clash, but if you look into the brighter side of it, it can mean an artistic bent of mind which is also good with money. 4 is toxic to 1, 3, 5 and 9. We have already discussed why is it toxic, or rather how 4 and 1 and 4 and 3 works. Coming to 4 and 5. 4 dislikes changes of any kind and 5 loves changes. So a clash and a need to strike a balance. Now what's wrong with 4 and a 9? Well, 4 is practical, 9 is idealistic. 4 knows that this is the reality, I would want to live with it without changing it. 9 is the same person who's wanting to change and improvise the reality and make it better.
So you see, it is all about understanding and getting to strike a balance. Now 5 is a toxic number to 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now we have already discussed the contradiction between 5 and 2 and 5 and 4. Now why is 5 a contradictory number or a toxic number to 6? Now, we already know by now that 5 is a number that promotes freedom, adventure and changes. And 6 pulls you towards family and family responsibilities. Now, the two things, the family and the freedom part, do not gel well together, and hence the contradiction. Now, why is 5 and 8 contradictory to each other? Well, once again, 5 promotes freedom, adventure and change. And what does 8 promote? 8 promotes cycles, repetition and repeating the same thing again and again, getting business out of it. So in that way, because 5 is trying to break away from cycles and 8 is trying to get you into cycles. So that is the contradiction between 5 and 8. However, the 5 and the 8 both indicate good business numbers, and if the combination comes together, what happens is there might be a possible good business acumen present in the person. 6 is a toxic number to 1, 5 and 7. Now we have already discussed the contradiction between 1 and 6 and 5 and 6, and we know why and where the contradiction lies. Now what would be the contradiction between 6 and 7? Have a guess. Yes. Okay, so 6 actually promotes family and family responsibilities once again that we know. And what does 7 promote? 7 promotes intellectualism and a brain for research and a brain for metaphysics and all research activities. 7 likes to sit alone and do a lot of research work alone. So 7, whenever you see a 7 present in a particular chart, it pulls you away from the family, and 6 pulls you towards the family. So there is a contradiction. Now this contradiction can actually be good for the family life of a 7 person. So you see, all the contradictions or all the challenge number combinations might not actually be that bad for you. But with this statement, I do not mean that you consciously go around choosing contradictory numbers or challenge numbers for yourself. I do not mean that actually. Whenever it comes to choosing numbers for yourself, always choose a number which is best if a natural match to your life path. If not a natural match, you at least choose a compatible number.
7 is supposed to be toxic to 2, 3, 6, 8 and 9. God, 7 doesn't get along too well with many people. And okay, obviously that's because 7 is the loner guy and likes to be by himself. We have already discussed 2, 3 and 6, now why 8 and 9? 8 because it is materialistic, 7 is intellectual. 7 believes in the enrichment of mind and 8 believes in status. 9 and 7 can't be totally toxic, cannot be called totally toxic because both have intellectual qualities, and actually the combination won't be that bad apart from the fact that 9 also is a very social number and wants to connect with the family unlike the 7. That brings us to the number 8. 8 is toxic to 1, 5, 3, 7 and 9. What? Half of the people do not like money or what? Okay, so we have discussed 1, 5, 3 and 7 already, and why are they toxic to 8? Then why is number 9 toxic to 8? Well, 9 is idealism and 8 is materialism. But the combo won't actually be that bad. Just put a 1 in the combo and you have an ultimate leader.
Okay, coming to the number 9 now. Okay, well that reminds me that we have already discussed all the combos. So what I mean by my entire blabbering in the complete log is, we have our core numbers which are our basics, and the basics cannot be changed. They can only be styled. Our destiny cannot be changed. Our destiny will start unfolding itself when we recognize our calling. Our calling is something which explores all the possibilities that we have, which explores all our talents, which connects all the dots together. So the calling is something which comes very easy to us. A calling is something which is to be felt with our gut and not by our brains. So if somebody claims that he or she can change your destiny by giving you a new name number, double check that person. Modified names are useful, but they have to be targeted towards specific goals. You have to know what you are wanting to achieve from the modified name, and only then the modified name will start working. And special care has to be taken while getting a modified name for yourself, so that you do not get challenge numbers, more challenge numbers for yourself, and the modified name must not start acting against you. Name, fame, fortune are all the byproducts that will naturally come to us once we start following our calling, once we start chasing our destiny, once we start evolving, when we start questioning and learning more and more, when we start connecting all the dots. Happiness and sorrow are the natural cycles of life. We do not have control over it. The way happiness comes, sorrow will also come. We cannot avoid sorrow by changing our names. Thinking that is very immature. So on that note, I would like to say that is all that I have to talk about today, and be positive and make the most out of your numbers. Stay connected, subscribe to the channel for more numerology secrets. I will be back with a lot more, and for the timing, bye bye, have a nice day.